Welcome everyone to another cycling video here. Today I got something a little bit special. As you can see, I'm currently riding with Hector and with Miguel, especially Hector. You're probably gonna see quite a bit. And we were just entering Canteras, which is the segment here in Valencia. And at this point I actually thought that we're gonna take it a little bit easier. All starts with a bit of a climb. And Miguel was a bit weaker today because he just been riding the entire week, so he was a bit exhausted, and we've been taking it a bit easier. And then all of a sudden at this point Hector started to turn around and just went over to Miguel and said like, dude, do you mind if we just wait at the end of the road here? And yeah, Miguel was okay with that, so all of a sudden Hector just comes flying past and says like, let's go boys! And yeah, that started the entire segment here, which was actually bit of a race between the two of us. And previously I actually ridden this twice, and my record was 12 minutes something, I think 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So in total the entire thing is 6 kilometers long. It has quite a little bit of climbing in, and Hector right from the get-go just goes hard. Now Hector is probably, I mean, he's definitely one of the strongest of our group. He might be the strongest of us. Depends all a little bit on the training. The little bastard is 15 kilograms lighter than me, which means that on any kind of hill he usually crushes me. Unless the hill is a little bit just like the 4-3% grade, then I can usually take him down, but anything else, when it starts to become steeper, he just has the advantage. And as you can see here, I mean, right from the get-go, he's already saying, okay boys, we go hard. And I didn't really plan on doing any hard efforts today, I gotta be honest. This entire ride was sold to me as a bit of an easy ride with Miguel, because tomorrow on Sunday we plan on going for a little bit of a harder one. But at this point Hector and I ended up in one of our little battles that we have quite often, together with Jose. Those two are probably the two of the group that you will hear the most of in the next few days. So Hector is starting to go for it here, and I already know, okay, I have to try and shake him at some point, but at this point I'm still trying to take my bearing here. But I know I have one little advantage over Hector, and that's that on the descents he is actually a little bit worse than I am. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a genius when it comes to descending, but I'm a bit better than Hector is, and I was already thinking about trying to use that to my advantage later. But for the time being I'm totally happy to suck his wheel a little bit and let him do most of the work here. Honestly, I think at this point I haven't even decided yet if I actually want to go and race him, or if I'm just going to try and go for a long or for a quick ride with him. And yeah, pretty soon at that point I probably figured out, okay, we both are going to go pretty hard here and going to try to win that thing. But you can already tell that I'm suffering a little bit. I mean, my heart rate is already up to 182, so it started early to get pretty intense here. Day was absolutely beautiful, was also incredibly warm. I mean, you can already take it from the scenery here. We had a total cloudless day, it was just sunny the entire time, really hot too, which especially at the later climbs was a little bit of a, or started to become a bit of a problem. But at this point things were still pretty okay. We were 25 kilometers into the ride when this whole thing started, and as you can see at the elevation profile to the top right, this is the moment when the first proper climb starts to go up again. So Hector the entire time has been doing quite a bit of the work. We're already 2 kilometers into the segment, keep in mind it's 6 kilometers long in total. And I already know, okay, at some point I have to go. This is still totally fine, I'm sitting at 200 watts. 250. We had a couple of shorter segments where I had to put some additional effort onto the pedals, but this is the moment when it starts to become steep again, and Hector is already just straight away jumping out of the saddle. I'm sitting at 500, 600 watts, but that's the moment when Hector actually goes back into the saddle, and I'm still going. I'm still out of the saddle, and I'm hammering it. I'm like, okay, if he drops back in, then I'm going to take a lead here right now. So I'm gonna try and bridge him a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have a GoPro in the back. Now, don't get me wrong, if those cycling videos turn out to become real popular, and especially on maybe an individual channel for them, then I'll definitely think about getting another GoPro for the back. But at this point, Hector was gapped a little bit, so he's already trying to bridge and to make sure that he doesn't lose my wheel. But I'm just going at this point. I'm just saying, okay, I have to do something here. I have to put a little bit of effort down. So there was a couple of other cyclists on the road. Nobody was really going super hard, but my entire heart rate, as you can see, has already started to jump up again to I think 186 that I'm at right now. And we're going actually pretty fast at this point. But I already know that I have to just go as hard as I possibly can, because there's a descent coming. And I'm not too familiar with that route, so again, this was the third time that I've actually ridden this particular part. But I already started to figure, I think I made a little bit of a mistake and jumped out too soon. Because the last time that I rode this, I nearly blew up on that thing when I was riding with a different group. And it was pretty rough because that thing just drags on and on and on and on. But at this point I figured I might as well just go. So I'm sitting the entire time between 300 and 400 watts outside of short efforts that I'm trying to push in here. But every single time and I think, okay, I can take it a little bit easier, Hector breathes down my neck in the back and I'm just like, damn, I need to do something here. And this is like the first little top of that first hill there. So right now at the descent, this is really where I figured out, okay, I need to actually start to go pretty hard on the descent and try and get a gap to Hector, because that climb that comes afterwards is pretty annoying and he's probably gonna beat me on the climb. So I have to try and really gap him here as much as I can, go as fast as I can, as hard as I can, and really take those corners quite well. And again, I'm not a genius on the descents, but I did my best here, put some proper speed down too, and the entire descent just kept pedaling, kept putting power through the pedals here, and just tried to take the corner as well as I could without going into potential ongoing traffic, which there was none outside of other cyclists. Didn't encounter a single car on that particular segment of the trip. But right here, I know I need to go, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm hoping to bridge, to gap Hector as much as I can, because I figure that once that we hit the next climb here, he's probably going to have the advantage over me, and then he's going to get me there for sure. So I'm just like going super fast as I can here right now. And at least my heart rate recovers a little bit on the descent, but as I already said, the next climb is coming and it's right around that little corner here. And this is really the moment when it also starts to drag out quite a bit, because we are currently at 3 kilometers, 3.8 kilometers in, and that means we still have 2 kilometers to go. So by no means am I out of the woods yet, and you can actually see that right now I'm already jumping straight into the saddle again. So actually at this point even hopping out of the saddle for another quick push that I had here, and currently at 400, 500 watts, just trying to get that momentum that I have from the descent into the climb as deep as possible, just to get that additional speed, because once that advantage is gone, Hector is going to close that gap as quickly as he can. And it's actually a fun battle. I mean, we've been battling ever since I came here, and it's been quite a lot of fun, because we just go back and forth, and it depends a little bit on the shape or that any one of us is in on any given day. And it's a lot of fun because it motivates you, and even when you are not in the front, I mean, when you chase someone it's always nice, but if you're in the front, for example, you have someone breathing down your neck, that's always pretty epic as well, and really helps you to stay motivated too. And one of the things that I also know is that when it comes to sprints, I usually have him. So most of the sprints, especially at the end of an effort, I'm a bit stronger than he is. So oftentimes my strategy has actually been to just try and keep up with him on a climb, and then once it comes to the finish, I can usually go a bit harder than he can and try and get an advantage to that. But here I'm just putting myself through the pain. I'm at 187, 186 of my heart rate again. I'm just the entire time trying to keep my wattage at above 300 at least, unless there's a bit more of an effort that I have to push in. And obviously it helps that there's just rabbits everywhere, so other cyclists that are a little bit slower than us and that I can keep chasing, so it gives me some mini goals for a bit of a mini game that I can put in here. But right now, as you can see, I'm again at 400, 500 watts the entire time. The heart rate is spiking and I'm just trying to murder the climb as quickly as I can. Currently standing as well, so out of the saddle and just putting the power down. 191 heart rate at this point, jumps up to 192, which is actually what I think I topped out on this one. But I was just trying to get to the top as quickly as I can before he catches me. And he told me later that during all of this, he was catching up. He was actually starting to get me right there. This was really the moment where I was just like that a little bit of a carrot right in front of him that he tried to get. Now we have a proper grade at this point too. We're sitting at 8-9% here. And right now I'm just happy that I can get past these guys without having to slow down. Previously we still threw out the buenas and yeah, hey, how are you, and other riders when we passed them. At this point there was just no talking anymore. I was just fully in the zone, I was dying, I was dead, and I knew already, okay, I can't talk any longer, I just have to focus on the next few meters or I am just going to drop. And it's still roughly a kilometer to go, but at this point I'm nearly at the top, so I'm nearly done with the climbing, and then I can try and just use the descent again to get maybe a bit of a bridge there. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So it's actually an absolute epic segment. It's absolutely awesome. It's one of the best that we had here so far. It's not really a super hardcore climb or anything, but it has some really nice, yeah, just a couple of nice like stretches where you have like a couple of ups, a couple of downs. So it's a good mix between everything that you can really offer here. And as you can tell, it's not really a road where a lot of cars are. So I finally got the top, start going down here, and again the entire time at 190, 191 of a heartbeat. But now I can start to get a little bit more speed onto the wheels, and that's exactly what I'm currently trying to do. And this is the last ascent. I know that pretty much at this point we're nearly done there, and so far he hasn't caught me, so I thought that my chances were actually pretty good. I got lucky here because I just could barely get past this guy pretty safe before the other guy came up the road. And I think this is where Hector actually started to have a bit of an issue. But I was super happy at this point, because this is the end right here, and I was just totally happy that he didn't catch me up to now. So just around that corner, this is pretty much it. I never looked back even, not even once. I knew that if I see him just right behind me, I'm probably going to just blow up at some point and say like, okay, that's it. But at this point, I finally hit the end, totally exhausted. And I beat my record by, I think, more than a minute. So I ended up with a new personal record for the segment as well, a personal best. He did too, by the way. There he is, right behind me. And yeah, there's a few more stats for the segment. So guys, again, if you enjoyed the little video here, and also if you want to see more videos like this in the future, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you've done that yet. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.